Time. And we are live. What is going on is Brian from Seacoast Beverage Lab, and this is episode 155 of the Seacoast Beverage Lab podcast. We are doing big things here. We're back after a week, and we got some crazy beer news to talk about. But first, I'm cracking into the Sapporo Premium Black. Look at that can right there. And I don't have any sushi to go with it, which is it's terrible. But Sapporo sent this to me, so I said I'd have it on the podcast. It says the perfectly balanced blend of roasted dark malts with refined hop bitterness. This is one bold lager. So I haven't tasted it yet, but I always get Sapporo literally when I go to sushi, like at Shio in Portsmouth, because you gotta. I don't know if anyone else is a big Sapporo fan, but this guy is.
I've never even heard of the fact that they do a dark one though, because the Sapporo in my head has always been affiliated with very, very light, delicate lager.
Definitely, yeah. And so in our show notes, I won't talk about too much, but the show notes list the link. I think it's only a couple months old, maybe a month old, that they just came out with the black lager or the premium black beer. Oops. So the link's in there, tells you all about it, which is pretty neat. And hold on a second, quick review. Tasty. I wouldn't have it with sushi though. I don't know what they would expect me to have it with, but I do enjoy. It reminds me of something, and I'll figure it out. BM Watts, what's going on the hard left? We're in the Thistle Pig hat. Look at that thing.
That's right. What's going on, everybody? At BM Watts at Twitter. Check me out. I am drinking the pale ale from our local friends over at Bad Lab. Delicious.
Cool label.
Nice.
Very cool. Their graphic design is awesome. Very, very well done.
Wait, what's the dangerosity on that?
It's a dangerosity level 5.
Okay. Make sure. Just checking.
It's a good middle of the road dangerosity level. You're not too extreme, and it's not for beginners either. So,
sweet.
If you happen to know what your dangerosity levels are, this is right in the middle of that. And
someone who calculates their dangerosity daily, Carla, what's going on?
Hey guys, how you doing? Carla at BeerBabe on Twitter, and I'm actually drinking a Foundation Ember.
Ooh,
I looked at it in the fridge like this, and I thought it was an Epiphany.
Yep.
And I turned it around, and I was like, oh, Blue Stripe and an Ember. So a little different, very similar to the Epiphany can. And I got all excited that Mike found Epiphany, but apparently he didn't. Although Ember, a delicious hoppy Amber beer. I'm also a big fan of this beer, but it was a little bit of mental bait and switch there.
Speaking of Thistle Pig, I was at the Thistle Pig Saturday, and I had a Wanderlust, and boy, that beer is great. The Foundation Wanderlust. I need me some more.
Yeah.
Look at that sweet hat. You went to Pills. What's up, Sean?
What's up, guys? How's it going? And,
good.
I'm currently enjoying a Founder's Breakfast Stout.
Nice. Is that legal? Oh, it is legal in the state now. Well,
yeah,
in your state, it's always been legal.
Exactly.
How's that going down? Good?
Yeah, it's nice and chocolatey.
Most excellent.
Perfect to have with your kids for breakfast.
My kids or Ben's kids?
Ben's kids. As he steps away.
He's like, I gotta go pour some cereal. Yeah, so it's been a couple weeks since we had a show. We wanted to let the news pile up, and my better excuse is I was super ill last week, so I'm back in the swing of things.
Feeling a little better?
A little better. Better enough to have a beer, which is always good. I think I don't want to blame the Oktoberfest that I saw Carla at for making me sick, but it was a great time. A quick shout out to Smarty Nose for doing it again. Another great Oktoberfest in the books, and I don't know, it was great. They didn't give steins away this time, so basically, if you wanted a good stein, you had to buy it. It was $10 for a solid stein, which is good. Last year they gave them away, but this year it's like, listen. If you weren't there for the first one, it's on you to buy one, which is good.
Yeah.
The beers there were good. I only stayed there for one. I had an Oktoberfest. What'd you try, Carla? Did you get anything? Good?
I did one of the I think I did the smoked cherry short weiss. I had the Oktoberfest, which was really good, and then I think I finished up with a pumpkin because I felt like it.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, it was fun, and I did buy the stein because I wanted to drink out of something that had a handle, and that. Was just easier to hang on to than the plastic cups. I have trouble with the plastic cups because if you like squeeze them too, you know what I mean, too hard,
totally.
You lose some of the beer. And I'm not that much of a snob about it, but when I'm given an option between glass, I will take the glass.
I like the cup option when I need to carry multiple things, so I can hold on to it with my mouth because you can't do that with a stein.
Right.
But I've never found myself in the opportunity to do so. Yeah.
No.
But it was good.
But I had to look at Mike and go, is it okay if we bring home glassware because I want a stein? He was like, yeah, I'm doing it too. Like, all right.
Now I got 2 steins in the damn house. Nice.
We have a glassware band, so.
Big shout out to the bands that were there. What the name of the band? It was great. Funky Po Boys.
Yes.
Right?
No, Soggy Po Boys.
Soggy Po Boys.
Like, yeah.
And it was really good. And as a marching band fan, they had a clarinet in there. They had a trumpet going on. And they were actually, it was like good music. They were playing the Jungle Book theme as we were rolling out, like as we were leaving. It was great. The food was good. They got a couple food trucks there. We had Clyde's Cupcakes from Exeter was there, along with Flatbread, I believe, was there. Some pizza place. But yeah, good times all around.
Totally. I left right before it started to rain, so that was awesome.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Woo! No, I had a good time. Caught up with people.
Yep. Shortly after that, we went to Throwback to have some more food, and I noticed that they had their cans there. And once someone talks, I'll get up and grab one. But they released 4 cans now at Throwback. They're Love Me Long
16
Time.
16 ounces.
16 ounces, yeah. They got the Love Me Long Time pills, the Hank's Pale Ale, the Spicy Bohemian, and the Don Quixote.
Bohemian cans? Ooh.
Yeah, and that's the one that I have left in my fridge. They didn't have a Donkey when I was there, but so I grabbed a mixed 4. The Hank's Pale Ale in the can is like a revelation. It's really good. I need to go back and get some more.
You're saying that they're selling them as 4-packs or singles?
They're selling as singles, but you can make a 4-pack out of them. There's a discount if you make a 4. Or you save like 50 cents or something. But they have like the plastic like toppers on the side. And you can just kind of make your own if you want, which is good. But yeah, the Hank's Pale Ale is good. But what's really good is the labels. They definitely redid the labels because the ones that were in bombers before were the Love Me Long Time and the Spicy. So when they brought them down to cans, they redid the label, and it's like I don't know who did the art for that label, but it is really, really good. I mean, as they do, a lot of the art all the art they do is like either locally sourced, but it's really good. It fits Throwback. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel with cans here. It's Throwback label on a nice can. Good stuff. Other than that, I didn't really do too much. I want to say I did, but I forget. I went to quick shout out to if I knew the name of the place, I would. But on Friday, the Granite State Growler Tours hosted a beer lovers weekend in Hampton, where they basically a group of people rent a room at a B&B in Hampton, and I was there for the tasting. I was talking to some of the people, and Throwback was there. We were having some tastings. And on Saturday, Dave the Growler Tour guy, took them to Bad Lab, Great Rhythm, and Liar's Bench.
Nice.
And then I think they had a chance to sneak over to Tributary Monte Lesser Day, which was I think
that's cool.
And then they come back for dinner at the B&B and just kind of have like a bottle share. Because people came over from all over the place. There's a guy a couple from Vermont, a couple from New York that just come to this B&B for the weekend and share beers that they bring. It's really neat. But yeah, that was neat. Other than that, just business as usual here. But Ben, do you get up to any beery things, Dad?
No, yeah, just I mentioned I'm drinking Bad Lab tonight. It's the best beer thing to happen and also the worst because it is literally on my drive home from just everything. So they've seen far too much of me. But it's good because I get to keep up tabs on what they're doing in there, and I can talk about one kind of cool thing that I haven't seen before at a brewery. So right now they have a lot of space in there. You walk in, and there's a ton of room right there before you get to the area for the tasting and the coolers where they keep all the beer. But in that area, they're going to put a kitchen in the middle of it all. It's going to be like an open concept kitchen where the chef is right there, 360-degree view, 360-degree seating that you can just like sit up there, or like there'll be tables kind of spaced out.
Is that kind of like the Fire and Ice in Boston, where it's like
that would be awesome. but it's not, because I think it's like Evan Hennessy might be doing something with it, right?
I don't know who's doing the food.
I think it's someone pretty good.
If Evan Hennessy, then you have my attention because he's awesome.
But it would be awesome to have Fire and Ice in a brewery. Man,
What's Fire and Ice? Am I the only
It's
one who knows about it?
it's in Boston. It's a place where there's this big hibachi grill in the middle that you give them a bowl of all the crap you put into it, and they kind of cook it right in front of you. But it's like
okay,
it's a
like
big one.
like a Benihana.
Yeah, but forever, like it's everyone around this big circle. Like you go around this buffet and fill a bowl with like meat and whatever, and then you give it to the chef who kind of cooks it. The way I put it,
you got to pick what you want to eat, so it's kind of.
But the problem is, it all tastes the same. It tastes like the guy next to you's because they cook pretty close together. Sorry, Ben, you were saying
No.
before we went to the Benihana sidebar.
It's just one aspect of being right there every day. They have big, gigantic glass window front, so you can see in there every day. But looking forward to seeing the progression of that as it happens.
Yeah, awesome. Geez, Carla, what have you been up to?
I spent this past Saturday in Portsmouth, but not doing beer-related things, really. I checked out, I ate some really good food, hung out and went shopping with a good friend of mine for the day. And then on Sunday, I actually went to Foundation to stop by their new tasting room, but then we went across to Allagash and actually took the tour at Allagash. Mike was with me. He hadn't been on the tour at Allagash.
Wow.
I would say in like 2+ years, so it's totally every time I go on that tour, I go in that tasting room. First of all, everybody who works there, they treat everyone fantastically, and secondly, I learn something new every time. So, 82% of all of their beer that they produce is Allagash White. I knew it was a majority, but I did not know the 82%.
82. Wow.
And 50% of all of the beer that they sell in Los Angeles.
What?
Which is, yeah,
In L.A.?
in LA, Los Angeles.
5-0.
Wait, is Los Angeles like?
No, 15, 1-5.
Oh, Los Angeles, Maine,
I
like
thought you said 5-0. Yeah.
No, 15.
Yeah, Los Angeles, Maine.
Yeah, no, not LA, Maine, which is Lewiston, Auburn for those who know. No, but no, the real LA, the one in California. So they described it as that's the beer, and those are the people that keep the lights on so that they can do all this crazy stuff with cool ships and barrels and everything else. So we had a great time. The Fluxus this year, which is a beer they produce every year, it's different. This year they have it. It's aged on ginger, and they put it in gin barrels, and it's like really nice and light and delicate. Ooh. So we ended up taking a bunch of that home. We're going to bring that with us to Thanksgiving. So that's going to make my, spoiler alert, that's going to make my list of beers to bring to Thanksgiving that I do every year. Because it's just a really different beer, but it's I could see a lot of different people liking it for lots of different reasons. You know what I mean? It's not super beery. It's not hoppy. It's very pleasant. It would go with a lot of good food. So really, really cool. And then we tried one of their beers called Haunted House, which is like a dark version of their house beer, and that is delicious. They were selling it in 4-packs in the tasting room.
I saw them tweet that, and I immediately wanted to get up there.
It got released either the week before because they postponed the Ghoul Ship release. It was like a week or two old, this beer, but they had plenty of it. So I don't know if any of that, more of that is going out to distribution. I didn't ask, but if you guys see it, it is a really good beer. I enjoyed that thoroughly. So
when's the Ghoul Ship? Sorry. Coming out?
The Ghoul Ship, I believe, is happening this weekend.
Ooh, okay.
They pulled it back for a week or two. It wasn't ready. They had announced a date and then changed their minds on that. But don't quote me on that. I'm going to look it up. But I believe it's closer to Halloween now than it is cool. The original date that they were going to do. But just really nice to get around to see some of those breweries. And then we went out to dinner at Foul Mouthed, which is the new brew pub down in South Portland, which I cannot say enough awesome stuff about. Delicious food, good beer. So if you're looking for a new place to come the next time people go to Portland, go to Foul Mouthed first.
Nice. I had like I said, I had the beer the first time we went, and it was too early for us for foods, but yeah, the menu looked great. And then I see the pictures they post on Instagram. Again, I look at them and I'm like, I'm not that far from Portland. I can get up there.
Right.
and it's fairly close.
It's really not as far as it's not that far.
Yeah. Awesome. Shano, would you get to anything wild and crazy?
Not really.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this podcast because the attitude does not belong on this show.
In comparison to everybody else, no, I've been pretty. I mean, beers every day for me. So,
well, how about every Monday? Let's talk about it. I mean,
Exactly. I did miss the podcast. I cried a little bit.
Beers every day for me. Ugh.
One thing that Carly, you were making me think about, if in LA it's 15% for Allagash White, I wonder what the average cost of an Allagash White, either pint or like a 4-pack, is out there.
Oh, I wonder. You know what?
Because we know what gas is in comparison, right? So gas is double.
I go out to the Los Angeles area periodically for work. So the next time I go, I'm going to go see if I can find out how much it would cost to buy a pint of Allagash White. That's pretty funny because I would love to know that. That would.
Well, even that, like you could imagine a 4-pack, right?
Right. Yeah.
$12.99, $13.99.
I'll have to find out. Yeah.
And it's number one.
It's still hard
That's
for
great.
me to
That's
picture
crazy.
people in LA drinking Allagash White, but I understand why it's popular because everything else around there, that's where all the hops started. Especially Southern California kind of hop, and this is like the most not hopped beer ever. So I can imagine why it would have stuck out. So somebody whoever decided to originally market Allagash White there, smart move.
Yeah.
Jeez. So while I was at Oktoberfest, I forgot to mention that and Carla did too, so shame on both of us, that Norm was there.
Yes!
And it was Norm Day recently.
Yeah, and it was Norm Day recently, but I was talking to Normie, and he had mentioned I was talking about the Jack's Abbey thing that we're about to talk about, and he made it, I only knew a little bit about it, but he, being the beer nut, filled me in on the rest of it. But I put an article in the show notes to talk about this, and Jack's Abbey is doing I would say a little side project, but it's basically going into a 30,000 square foot space next to their brewery. It's going to be called Springdale by Jack's Abbey Brewing. Ooh. And basically you can consider what this is not just side project, but everything but lagers, because as you know, Jack's Abbey is the all lager brewery. All this in their little Springdale offshoot is going to be the saisons and some IPAs and a lot of other Belgian beers that they want to work on, but still kind of keep away from the Jack's Abbey name of being lagers.
Interesting.
So the link is in the show notes.
Springdale? What did you say?
Yeah, Springdale.
Dale. Okay.
Dale, yeah. It's called. It'll be called the Springdale Barrel Room. It'll be the largest barrel aging program in New England.
What?
And yes, so it's
Bigger than Allagashes?
So it says, my dog is in the back. I'm not used to being up here down here. Springdale will open with 1,000 wine and spirits barrels and 5 foeders.
Foeders. Those are the
foeders?
huge ones that they're like Allagash's FV13 is a giant one of those. It's like from floor to ceiling high. It's like one giant barrel.
Yeah, so they're having 5 foeders, and according to the press release, their goal is to have 3,000 barrels and 12 foeders by the end of next year.
Holy! Wow.
So, and it says, and they say in the thing that they have the space, and if you've been to the newest Jack's Abbey, like they're now where they're at now, that place is gigantic, and I'm trying to picture.
Goose Island have?
Sean, what do we got?
Say that again.
Sean, our stat man.
How many barrels? I'm just trying to wrap my head around how many barrels that is, because Goose Island has a billion.
The salt mines of Founders has got to be ridiculous.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
This says,
I just found the answer for Goose Island. Goose Island has 20,000 different barrels. So
okay, yeah. It says.
So here's what I got. Here's why my brain was stuck. So and Ben, I need your help. You're the movie buff here, and I can't find the answer. What movie or TV show was the town Springdale used in? Like Springdale was used in a movie, wasn't it? It has to be like a cult American TV show or movie, and Springdale was a town.
It sounds like a truly like Americana. Like
Dazed and Confused or something like that, which is not that, but it's like.
What was that movie that was like started off in black and white and they started to like?
I was thinking the same. Pleasantville.
Pleasantville. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so not Springdale.
Yeah. So maybe if you guys listening now, tweet us with the answer to that, or if you're better, Google is it. But yeah, so this says Jack's Abbey is currently on pace to produce 36,000 barrels of its own beer. That's Jack's Abbey by the end of this year. And according to the release, Springdale could eventually account for as much as 2,000 barrels of sour beer annually.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Let's friggin' go. Yeah, and it says, and by comparison, Jack's Abbey will produce 200 barrels of sour beer this year. So that's like to be able to multiply that by 10 in a whole other building. That's good stuff right there. But yeah, it's on Clinton Street in Framingham, which it's kind of a bit to get to, but it's a way easier drive than it was when they were in like the deeper parts of Framingham, I believe. I personally believe, but either way, it's a great place. Have you guys been Sean, you've been, right?
Oh yeah, it's a great spot.
I have not yet.
Nice,
all right, so
nice big restaurant, awesome. Brick oven pizza, expanded menu. Other than that, I mean, before the equipment was in it, you could play like indoor football in there. It was massive.
Exactly. Wow. Last time I was down there, I drove down there just to get the 40s because they released 40 ounce of their lagers. So I had to get that, and I just drove down there for 4 of them, and I had food there because I needed to. But yeah, keep an eye on Jack's Abbey. This is some pretty crazy news, and the whole press release is there. It adds on to it. It'll be a 5,000 square foot tap room with 12 beers on draft and packaged beers available. By the way it sounds, it'll be beer only available out of this place to start, and then see what happens. But Springdale. Let's go. What are we doing next here? AB InBev is in our show notes twice. So let's save those two till the end. Let's talk about Brooklyn Brewery because stocks were sold.
Yes. So we've been talking a lot in the last year about mergers and takeovers and buyouts, and people have raised the argument. Well, what happens if it's not fully a buyout, but instead somebody buys a minority stake, and are they still considered craft? Are they still independent? Yada yada yada. So this one of the first, the big ones, big names to do this. So Brooklyn Brewery has sold a 24% stake to Japan's Kirin Brewery. So essentially, they want to tap the company's beer styles for the Japanese and Brazilian market. So they're basically, kind of doing this to get a partner that's international and kind of start exporting more of their beer. So this funding and those connections to, I would assume, distribution as well, is how they're going to use that. And they're all saying, no, we're still an American craft brewery, everything's fine, but this is how we're going to do our growth. Yeah.
Tenths of a point of
Yeah. So it's it's not even close to even half of the company. But essentially what they're doing is that they're adding to their kind of, I guess, distribution network, really. They're getting more pathways into other countries, which I think is really interesting that there are still American breweries of that size that can find an international market. I'm wondering if that's...
Yeah. And it seemed like this is almost, I'm not sure the similarities, but it sounds like it's as similar as when Lagunitas sold some shares to Heineken, or Heineken bought shares from Lagunitas.
Or Founders with San Miguel.
Yeah, so, and then as we found out, it wasn't Lagunitas selling out, it was them distributing beer in, Great Britain or out that way. So yeah, it's interesting. I sent my wife right over to Japan. She's there now to figure out what's really going on here because.
Well, I don't
know.
It's funny. Like, what if in 2 years from now they say, well, you can't be more than 20% owned? So.
So they start really crushing down who should be. Yeah.
Exactly, and then you go.
Haven't they gone the other direction, though? Haven't they been more accommodating? Like, oh, Boston Beer, you got so big. We're still part of the family. Let's just bump up our requirement there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yes. There is rarely a conversation about craft beer when I'm telling someone about craft beer where Sam Adams doesn't come up, but only because of that reason. But
they're trying to be more inclusive, not less.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm saying it's like we said Sam Adams at the same time because that's the gauge. is crazy. I like Kieran. Was it Kieran? Yeah, Kieran Ichiban. Let's go. And Brooklyn's good too.
Yeah, they have some really good beer. It would be kind of neat if they did some kind of a, like an international collab beer or something. I don't know. Maybe brew a special version. It makes me wonder if they're going to be brewing. It doesn't really say in this article, but it makes me wonder if they're going to be putting any production over there, if they're just going to be exporting there. But it would be kind of neat if there were any kind of a crossover influence from this.
It sounds like exporting. I mean, and then there's a growing craft beer bar thing going on in the Far East, like Malaysia and China and stuff. So, but there's a lack of like breweries. So maybe they're still trying to figure that out. But that'd be nice if Brooklyn kind of, put the shovel in the ground as one of the first to do so. I mean, obviously, I'm talking Far East when Stone just put their brewery up in Germany. So,
right. And for a long time, Brooklyn's been the leader in the Nordics. So Sweden and neighboring countries.
Yeah. You mean on the Nordic track?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's go to we're talking about AB InBev, and I want to do I'm going to end with Ben because he's got a freaking blockbuster of a story. So obviously, let's give the lower quality story to Sean. We're talking about AB InBev, and so I forget what show this was. We talked about it when it was happening. Their combination with Sab Miller. It's all you, Shano.
Okay. So this has been going on almost like forever, right? That when it was announced 4 months ago, that now formerly AB InBev is now called New Belco, which is the new name after the SAB Miller joint venture, where
that sounds really dumb.
Where Miller Coors is now part of their own diverse business. This actually article is kind of there's a lot of articles on this topic.
Correct.
The one that you chose was pretty financial
driven. The one that you chose to read today.
Yeah, there's a couple others that I was looking at the same time to try to bounce back and kind of summarize. I think it's still confusing as a beer drinker what is going to be what and sold where by whom. And
as usual, as craft beer drinkers do, they will tweet about it and not try to understand what's really going on, which is fine. There's a lot of numbers here, so obviously this could be good. This could be good stuff. But again, it's just more. I'm putting in there as more details for this thing, but it really doesn't mean much to the craft world other than maybe some bigger things happening for AB InBev.
Yeah, this article and a bunch of articles focus on, I guess, probably what New Belco has kind of delivered out there as their message, was that there's three that this merger is committed to making a better world, focusing on three worlds: for a growing world, a cleaner world, and a healthier world.
Corporate speak for
that.
Everything's got to be fine.
Dedicated to reducing the harmful use of alcohol in all of its markets for a healthier world.
All right.
It's just kind of very interesting. I think when it comes down to it, I need like a Wikipedia page for dummies and says that after this, the U.S. model is this, which is not really affected by this merger and acquisition, but it's mostly affected in the European, South America, Central America, and African markets.
All right, everybody, wake up. I know that was a boring story, but it is important. Somewhere there's a little bit of importance that you'll be telling your grandkids about that you heard on this damn podcast.
Yeah. You used to know it as AB InBev. Now you don't.
New Belco. Get out of town.
That's a dumb name. That's a really dumb name. I think that's the first time I've heard that name so far.
It says formerly New Belco.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what the best thing about it is for
America.
them?
Sorry,
is not AB InBev. So like, if this change flies under the radar and they're just this new name.
Well, who are these new cats coming in here? New Belco, cool. Yeah. Go for it, guys. And then wait, they're eating. It's them.
You guys had that beer from New Belco? Delicious.
Hops. It's like a Scooby-Doo thing. They pull the mask off. AB InBev.
Merger. New Belco.
Oh, man.
Ew, it's not even... It's all one word, all smushed together. That's really dumb looking. Noble Coal. Sorry.
It sounds like a Silicon Valley thing where they make like it's this software that's gonna like make beer better. New Belco.
We'll go for this eventually. That'd be hilarious.
But
I think what's weird is that I know there was all those organizations that were trying to prevent the merger from happening, and there was a lot of different concessions and made, and it was kind of like had this feeling of like, is it really going to happen? And just from this, it's going to happen. It's just been driving forward.
Yeah. And so they continue to be in the news, AB InBev, and I think it was shortly after the Brooklyn news that this AB InBev news came out. Ben, do you want to give us some quick highlights about this? Because I think this is it takes a hit. It's pretty big news.
It is a big hit, no matter how they want to kind of spin it. AB InBev or New Bevel,
formerly New Belco.
Formerly New Belco, is digging their claws into the homebrew market now with the acquisition of Northern Brewer, who is, in my mind at least, the largest supplier of homebrew retail in the country. And that's just maybe their marketing campaign that makes me think that they're the biggest. But yeah, there used to be Williams back in the day, but I think Northern Brewer has probably eclipsed them at this point. But bottom line is that this isn't like them expanding into a territory that they haven't been to before for the benefit of homebrewers alike. This is just a money grab.
Yeah, I mean, and you see their revenue of just this homebrew supply company, which obviously they do more than just like grains and hops. It's like equipment and things. It's tens of millions of dollars in annual revenue, which is crazy.
Yeah, and they were my go-to forever. Always creating technology on the cutting edge. Very, very great company. I can only hope that nothing changes there. But one of the other things that's part of this acquisition that I immediately questioned is that one of the things that Northern Brewer was always known for was partnering with craft breweries and selling clone kits of their beers. And I'm wondering that, and these are still. Northern Brewer is a Midwestern company, and they've partnered with a lot of Midwestern breweries to do this. So I don't think that any of the breweries that they offer the Pro Series kits from are currently at this time owned by AB InBev. So I kind of wonder if they're going to continue being able to do something like that, where it is kind of in almost direct opposition to AB InBev to be promoting another brewery's brand by selling their kits.
That's a good call.
Breweries like Indeed Brewing, Dry Dock, Surly is probably the biggest one that they work with. Lakeville, Tallgrass, Town Hall. All these are sort of Midwestern breweries that they do offer. And I should say that these are the official clones that they offer. They do offer,
like a Heady clone or something.
Non-official clones. There's one called like Top of the Heady.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very.
Not to get sued.
Very.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. Just not quite enough there to be infringing on any copyrights.
So I guess the question is, you're probably the bigger homebrew of us right here. Would you say you were like, say you brewed like 5 times the amount you do now, and like you were like a serious home brewer, would this news affect you going there to buy your supplies?
That depends on the individual's constitution. I feel like there's people who are absolutely bottom line adamant about not supporting AB and Bev, and then there's the people who are like, yeah, I'll just do like the Goose Island special releases because that's okay. And then there's people that don't really care. Northern Brewer, it provides a service. It certainly does. But the nice thing is that if you just go to your computer, I think you go to computer.com, and then that'll bring you to Google. And then if you just Bing if you go to Google and search Bing and look up homebrew supply shop, there's probably one pretty close to you that you can drive to and get your ingredients 3 days faster than you would get them from Northern Brewer. So I guess my long-winded explanation for that is just support your local. But again, as I was mentioning before, Northern Brewer has always been kind of on the cusp of technology and really creating a lot of cool things. Most recently, I think a Wi-Fi monitoring system for your gravity to tell you when you brew a beer and then set the gravity mark that you want it to be at, and it'll notify you by phone when it hits that mark. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I just got an email from, I think it was last week, I think it was a conical fermenter or something where you could just an easier way to get your own yeast, to keep reusing your yeast.
Yeah, that thing's pretty cool too.
That's good innovation.
Now Ben, going to Twitter, does this resemble any of your feelings from Jared Gabello, just on Twitter, posted hashtag Northern Brewer. I am done with you. I'm not against big beer completely, but I needed you to be an alternative. You are not independent.
Could this not have come during politics season, I wonder?
Here's another one from you, from Brad. From Brad, hashtag Northern Brewer. It's a sad day now if you bought InBev, if you were bought by InBev. He doesn't know that it's New Belco.
We should tell him.
Somebody just tweeted to me that said neither AB or Miller is being pushed out. That name is for the new holding company. It's kind of like how Alphabet owns Google. I don't care.
Oh, sure. Yeah. New World Order. Yeah.
Whatever.
So, Brad, I know you listen to this podcast.
Nothing to do with Belgium, my friends.
I just looked up hashtag Northern Brewer to see what people were saying.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not too many people, you know what I mean? I guess.
And there was one brewery or something in Texas that was on my Facebook feed, because I don't look at Facebook, but that was like on the top of my like promoted things, and they were going off about it. So I think some brewers are mad, but again, like we've talked about it. I think it was either last episode or 2 episodes ago. It's how you deal with it, and how you want to support whoever you want to support. As lame and political as that sounds, do what you want. I mean, it was great. So I was in Redstone Liquors in Stoneham a couple days ago, and I was looking at the usual stuff, and I did a wicked double take because I saw a 6-pack of 10 Barrel on the shelf. And I'm like, what? I really like 10 Barrel. I'm like, oh right, that the reason why they're there is because they're distributed by AB InBev now. But I still like.
Yeah, they have Pale Joe.
Yes, it was great. I mean, it was just great to see that. So being able to see a recognized brewery. No, I know that it's brewed in Portland. It's not brewed anywhere else yet, ? But it was just cool to see like that, and then me realizing that's the reason why, but not getting pissed off like other people would.
Right.
Oh, put that swill down there. It's brewed in Portland, you turds. Come on. But yeah, that's probably like my recent example of right, it's getting the pie is getting eaten slowly by the bigger again, but who knows. Yeah, I still want to see what other homebrewers think about it. So I might swing over to AG to see if what they think about it. Obviously, they have their hand in the brewing game anyway, but it'd be nice to see what other homebrew supply shops think about potentially places where they buy things from and what they think about it. And I'll tell them to give me all their information that they know.
Well, they must buy from Northern Brewer too, though, right?
No, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying, but I don't know to what extent. It depends on if they're getting like all of the equipment or things. But yeah, so at some point they'll need to make a decision if it's moral or not. Just like when Quack and Chappelle Carmelite were sold. A lot of bars around Carla's area and a lot of beer stores around my area were pulling them off the shelves instantly. So I wonder if that has the same effect when a homebrew supply shop sells out. Oh,
That's actually a good question. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you take the Northern Brewer magazine stack that you have and you toss it in the trash?
Ooh, oh man! Actually, you use that to kindle the fire under your
kettle. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. I obviously what's done is done, but it'd be nice to see kind of like what some of the homebrewers and homebrew suppliers are saying.
Okay.
That's pretty much. Whoa!
I have sad news about New Belco. New Belco. They immediately after they named it, they unnamed it. So now
that's why it's firmly known as
renamed. Ready? New Belco has been renamed Anheuser-Busch InBev, and the former AB InBev has been dissolved. So they're now Anheuser-Busch InBev.
But when the AB stood for anyway, you guys know.
So sorry, we can't make fun of the New Belco anymore.
Well, I think someone should make a beer called New Belco right now, because now that's not a thing anymore.
Oh, like litigation? Do you? No?
It's a new Belgian... I don't know.
Yeah.
With corn? I don't know. So we have those articles in the show notes, as well as a quick write-up on, like I said, the Sapporo Premium Black Beer, because, again, it's like a brewery that's been around forever and have, like Carla said, making extremely light lagers for sushi. Coming into the dark lager game, and actually I got 2 new beers from Guinness last week in the fridge, a rye pale ale and another stout. So their brewers project is starting to send some more stuff this way. I thought it was a swing and a miss with the Nitro IPA. I didn't dig it. So we'll see what these are like.
The Brewers Project ones are really cool because they're based on like the more historical recipes. So it's not like they're trying to fit in with new stuff. They're using the history that they do have, and I think that's a great idea. I've had one of the 2 of them, and they're really quite interesting, different.
Like and twice stout.
Say it again.
It's called the. Keep talking. I'll bring it back. I'll get it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that so if people tried the Nitro IPA and were not a fan, don't be afraid to try these new ones, because these new ones are in a different vein entirely, and I think they fit in a lot with the fact that people are getting back into traditional beer styles like the German stuff. They're a lot more lagers that aren't filled with a lot of adjuncts or extracts or crazy other ingredients. It's kind of a reaction against that everything being extreme, grapefruit IPAs and stuff. So I think people are becoming a little more attractive to some of the more subtle flavors or the more traditional flavors of beer too. So that'll be kind of cool to see.
So I got. Sorry, I'm close to my fridge now, so now we have all the beer we need. But I grabbed the Guinness Pale Ale.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Looking good. Yeah, and then we got, it's called the Antwerpen Stout.
Oh, neat. I haven't seen that one yet.
Looks like that, and it is 11.2 full ounces. And like I mentioned earlier...
Does it use a Belgian yeast?
Brewed in Dublin. There's something. No, it's, I don't know, first brewed in 1944 for export from Dublin to Antwerp.
Belgium.
It's an export one, yeah. They've done that all over the place. Yeah. They have an African version of Guinness that they export just for them, but they all make them all in Dublin. As far as
and then, as I promised, I'd show you the can of Throwback that I have left is the Throwback. Oh, yeah. Look at that label right there.
That looks cool. Yeah, it is it is very them.
And it's like an orange can.
Ooh, I like it. Ooh, okay, that's cool. Although the only thing I will say is that from afar, and I know it's because the camera quality, they look like water balloons.
It for sure does. Even up close, like those are jalapeno water balloons.
Chili-shaped water balloons. They're cute though.
Damn it! Now I will see nothing else. That's gonna be it.
Sorry.
So real quick before we shut her down, we have 2 beer weeks coming up. Let me just shout out the first one, and then Carla, if you want, shout out the next one. November 4th to the 13th is Mass Beer Week. Shano, get ready.
We've had that on the radar for a couple weeks. It's
man, now it's next week, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
No.
Okay, well. So yeah, there's a beer advocate page there for it. I'm sure there's gonna be some other stuff. But yeah, it's the entire state, which it's always rough because
it's a big state.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, in any state, beer week is tough on the consumer, the distributor, the bars, because yeah, I mean, New Hampshire Beer Week is rough. That's why we have a Portsmouth Beer Week, which is like one beer week for this part of New Hampshire. Nice. So speaking of one part of a state, Carla, it's coming again. I thought we just ended Portland Beer Week.
No. So we did just end Bangor Beer Week because they just have their own, which makes total sense because it's really the opposite end of the state. So that went really well. A couple of the brewers I know from down here were up there for events this past week, so they were having a lot of fun up there. But Portland Beer Week kicks off on November 5th and goes through the 12th.
Nice.
I was just having like a major vapor lock overwhelmed moment looking at the schedule earlier today going, oh, there's so many things, people. So my favorite, of course, freshman orientation, where they take all of the new breweries that have opened since the last one, or at least anybody that can possibly go, and do them in one speed dating session, is happening on November 5th, and they're doing it in the evening this time. So they used to do it in the middle of the afternoon. Now I think it starts at 7.
Wow.
Yep. So I'm pretty happy about that. There's going to be 13 different breweries there.
I'll put in my calendar right now.
Yeah.
Are they hosting it at the same place?
Yes, it's going to be at that
coffee roaster.
Coffee by Design, which is very close to the side.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that will be amazing. And then the other event I'm really excited about, there's a lot of events, and if you go to portlandbeerweek.org, you can see all of them there. But the other one I'm also very excited about is the Pro-Am competition, and I think I've talked about this in previous years, where essentially a home brewer pairs up with a pro brewer to brew a pilot batch or a small batch on the professional system, and then people come taste all of them and then vote for their favorite. But they're changing it this year so that the entries, first of all, they're doing it at Salvage Barbecue the Monday, not the Tuesday. So it used to always be on election night. So they're doing it on Monday instead, and Monday is not a normal day that Salvage Barbecue is open, so it's going to be limited to just the people who are there. It won't be as crazy. They've limited the numbers of tickets a little bit so that it's way easier to participate in. Last year was wall-to-wall people. You couldn't get all the samples. It was really difficult. But my favorite thing is that they're doing it blind. So there's going to be a number and a description of the beer for people to vote on, but you won't know, that's the Allagash one, or that's the Dirigo one, or that's the Bissell Brothers one.
But if you put because we'll put a Seacoast Beverage Lab translator out there, every capitalized letter, put them together, spells the brewery.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah, so, but what I'm excited about is that means that there will be a little bit less of, everybody go vote for my buddy's beer, or, a brewery bringing 15 of their own employees to vote for their own stuff. So I'm looking forward to this because there's going to be there's always so much creativity. There was a pickle beer last time. There have been really good sour things. Just, it's super creative, very different. And these people, the homebrewers, who get that professional experience, some of them in previous years have actually gone on to open breweries themselves. So
wow, does anything happen to that beer, or is it just you try those beers then and then?
They don't do that. It's not like the long shot where then they put that into production. But that
they don't put it on tap at that place like a barrel or something.
That partnership, depending on the brewery, some of the breweries I know they're making such a large batch of it that it is going to be sold after that. It's not they didn't make 1/6 of it. You know what I mean, for the thing. So they will have it on in their tasting rooms and things like that after the fact, which is pretty cool.
That's cool, yeah.
I made that, that's.
Yep.
That's super fun. And then I also heard that the place to be on election night is at Rising Tide. So shout out to those guys because they're going to have a pig roast, and they're all just going to be kvetching about the state of the world. So
Heather's also she's in the runnings.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. Yes. So Heather Sanborn is actually running for a position in her district, and she's going to kill me because I've forgotten what it is because I'm not in her district. But she's running for political office. Could not think of a better person to actually get involved politically because she's done a lot already to influence our laws about beer and whatnot. I'll just look up really quick. Talk about yourself.
That's cool. Yeah, Sean, we should probably do another night up there. I mean, not a full, like not an overnight, but if you got the chance,
Oh yeah.
Maine House.
maybe have to grab something.
She's running for the Maine House of Representatives, and she totally needs to go there. She wants to be a state rep for District 43, which I am no longer a part of, so I can't vote for her, but I can tell everybody who lives in District 43 to go vote for her because she's awesome. So,
All right.
huzzah!
Huzzah indeed.
But yeah, check out PortlandBeerWeek.org for that schedule. I'm going to be out probably almost, so give me a shout if you want to know where I'm at, and come explore our lovely crazy beer scene up here.
Awesome. I already put on the calendar as you were talking about it, the freshman thing, and then we're gonna be. Is it considered part of the week, the wild beers at Novari?
Yes, it is actually.
Okay, good, 'cause, yeah, well, I'll for sure be there on that day.
That one's on Saturday, the following Saturday. So that's on Saturday, November 12th. Basically, a sour tap takeover at Novari always has crazy good stuff on.
Yeah, because my wife and I were like, oh, well, we'll go to the Extreme Beer Fest, and we found out we can't go. So she's like, well, we're definitely going to Wild Beers, so Wild Beers it is.
Nice, very nice.
Yep.
At Empire that same day, they're going to have a little tap takeover of beers made with Maine-grown ingredients, too. So that's another unique opportunity.
And what's Empire?
It's the beauty school that
Empire.
You got to start at the top.
Yeah, no, Empire is basically a Chinese and dim sum restaurant that also has some live music in its upstairs part.
Okay.
But they have a nice little bar and really good food, actually.
Nice.
It's up by where Nosh is. Like it's like a half a block from Nosh up on Congress.
So that's up by Sebago also.
Yeah, it's across the street from Sebago? No, Sebago. So it's up Congress Street. So it's across
Subway?
Like Taco Escobar.
Yeah. Up by the pizza place there.
Otto's. Yeah, it's near the Otto's on Congress Street. It's up. Yeah.
Cool.
But they're very fun people over there too, and I think this might be the first Beer Week event they're hosting there. So that would be.
Now, do you know? Is it the same rules beforehand? Do you have to pay to host an event?
I'm going to say yes because I didn't hear that has changed, but I have not been particularly involved in planning this year's Portland Beer Week. So I assume that's the same, is that, it's basically all going to support the promotion of the whole thing and whatnot. But I don't honestly know what the amount was or, that type of thing. But there are a lot of different venues that are participating in this. So
yeah.
It's going to be cool, I think.
Sweet. Yeah, and you'll see Carl out there. You'll see Active Beer Geek doing his thing. I wonder if Arcadia's doing much,
Arcadia's having one called the Dark Side of the Light Side, where I think they're going to have two. It's a Star Wars thing. Let's see where
gotcha. Yeah. Oh, cause they did the Monday Night Raw thing. They did the wrestling thing last time. I remember they did that.
I read something. They're definitely doing something like that, and I can't.
Cool. Yeah. And what's crazy is it's tough for a city like Portland that has beer things going on weekly anyway to try to focus on a week of beer stuff. I imagine because there's always stuff going on. So.
Also, they're doing a Donkey Kong tournament on Monday.
Terrible.
At Acadia.
You're not good at Donkey Kong.
No, but I'm good at the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong, not the Nintendo. I am good at that. There's a beer game, and listen, just because it's beer, don't pass it up. Beer game in I showed you Carla the game in Arcadia that is like that metal bar. Probably the best game there. There should be a tournament around that game, and root beer tapper.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can search by venue. The Light Side, Dark Side thing is actually a Sierra Nevada event where they're going to have a light beer and a dark beer on, and basically whichever sells more from one way or the other wins. It's just kind of fun. I think they're bringing the Goza and something else, and I don't see it written here. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Two Roads in Sierra Nevada. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so lots of... If you can't find something to do during that week, I can't help you, people.
All right, and so we will promote it one more time next week, and then that's your last chance to hear about it. So, by then we'll know a lot more and stuff, and yeah. So you have 2 beer weeks coming up, and New Hampshire's like it's in a sandwich. 2 beer weeks, New Hampshire's just kind of hanging out where it should be. I know tonight there was a Oktoberfest at Applecrest, and nothing else going on New Hampshire wise. I believe next week is the 5th is the deciduous 1st year anniversary.
Yes, that was
wow.
So
And,
it feels like eons.
Yes, it does. Is it 2 years?
No, it's 1 year.
It is 1. Yeah. For some reason, I thought it seemed like it'd been longer.
No, it feels like it though, because there was so much lead up to it. That we were aware of, like almost for so long that it has been a long time. So congratulations to Dave. Because that freshman class thing is at night, I might try to be insane and come down for part of the thing in Newmarket at his place, and then head up to Portland after that. So we'll see how that goes.
Brian, were you able to make it to the New England Brew Fest? That was 2 weekends ago, right?
No, I didn't. And it's funny you mention that because you're talking about the one in Red Hook, right?
Yeah.
Nope. And it was the first time I haven't been there since I moved to New Hampshire in, 08, 07, 08.
Wow.
Super pissed I missed it. But it was our only free weekend because October's a crazy month in this house.
Yeah, it's busy.
It sucks. But, it looked like a good time. I wonder how the numbers were, and it was a decent day for it, too.
It was a gorgeous day when that happened.
I was super pissed I couldn't go because it's such a great fest, but couldn't. But by my own measure, I couldn't do it. But yeah, so that's going to do it for this. BM Watts, I know we're doing something awesome on Sunday. Do you want to tell everyone, or is that just is this not even the podcast for it?
Is it that crochet fest that we're doing?
It's the quilt show.
It's
called the quilt show. No. Tell them, Ben. What's going on? What are we doing Sunday?
Oh, we're going to Hell in a Cell, baby. WWE.
Yes.
I'm almost 40. Love it.
A dad of 2 going to wrestling.
Yeah. What are you gonna bring for a sign?
I'm just gonna bring a whole 2x4. Just hold it up. Oh no, we don't do signs, but we are sitting in the luxury box, so we got to keep it.
We're far too far away for any signs to be noticed.
Definitely, yes. But yeah, we'll be there. So if we're not on the camera side, so if you watch wrestling, you will definitely not see us. But Ben might run through the Hell in a Cell just to get on TV. But maybe stop at Beer Works. Maybe stop at Slum Brew. Might be nice on the way down. Maybe check that place out.
Yeah, this is my time to take advantage of all these things. You need to stop everywhere.
Yeah, so we're doing that this week. Big shout out to Momo, Mike Meredith, previous host of the show. He is getting married on Friday. So we
to a girl.
Not only to a girl, no less, and she said yes, which is weird. But so he's getting married on Friday near the heart of Halloween City, which is the worst idea, but that's just material for my best man speech. So yeah, congrats to him. There better be beer there, but yeah, shout out to him. But Carla, anything going on in the next week for you?
Not. I haven't really planned much this weekend. Because in anticipation of the weekend after, I also spent way too much money on beer and food this past weekend. So I'm just gonna chill. I know it's a Halloween weekend. I actually don't have any solid plans for Halloween, nor have I planned a costume. So
Nice.
it is yet to be seen if I'm gonna go out and do anything this weekend, or if I'm just gonna stay home and be a little fuddy-duddy and.
You can do what you do every year. Go get a couple cartons of eggs and just throw them around town.
Toilet paper, eggs.
My aim is only that good when I'm shooting archery bows, so that's not going to help. Although
Which is crazy that's better than egg throwing.
Although this Thursday I may be out because they do karaoke every year. So
karaoke.
Carla, did you watch? Did you watch Rocky Horror Picture Show on TV? I figured you'd be into it.
No, I didn't, but I heard it was really good. So I have to find a way I can see it again because I don't have cable, so I missed it entirely.
Oh yeah. It was okay.
But I heard it was good.
I never seen the original, so my wife was yelling at me throughout it. So I don't know.
You've never seen the original?
No, but you're supposed to like be yelling during it, throwing rice, throwing macaroni.
And he was too. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to like, what's going on? She goes, no, this is part of the thing. I'm like, oh boy, I'm out of this.
Did she take some macaroni and throw it at you?
No, she threw it at me. It was cooked macaroni. We got the whole thing wrong. Oh boy.
But yeah, so that's pretty funny. Yeah, I missed it. But I heard it was fun, kind of fun. So.
Okay.
I
Shano.
don't know.
Oh, sorry. Go. Anything else?
Nope. Just getting ready for next week.
Sean, I mean, you didn't do anything the last couple weeks. What are you doing this week? Give us something to see.
No, I didn't do anything beer related. I just ended.
No, that's fine. That's valid.
Yeah, we had a marching band finals this past weekend.
You don't have to give me the details. I just want to know about beer stuff.
Yeah,
just kidding.
I'll be
now you're on the show.
I'll be visiting Central Maine this weekend, so I'll be able to check out what's good for sale in Central Maine. I'll report back next week.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you? I know you guys want to end, but I have a quick question about Maine now. Just came to mind. Have you had anything from Marshall Wharf lately, Carla, that you can speak about?
Not recently.
Because I keep seeing Beer Cellar getting them, and I'm like,
over the summer I had a few, but I haven't had anything recently.
I saw a picture of them a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, man, I forgot about Cant Dog was the best in its time, was the best beer not 2 years ago. Now I just need. Yeah.
But aren't they in the category of couldn't get it dog?
Yeah. We did. Yeah. So yeah, it just sucked because they had they were go, and then they had to shut down. So then now they're sort of back, but I don't know with what. So. This is
I'm not even sure what they have available in cans because even the last couple times I've had Marshall Wharf, it's been on tap at like the Mario's or something. So I have been a bad Maine beer person and I have not been keeping up with them. So that's
fine. You had enough on your plate or in your pint glass.
Tweets at me and fill me in, people, on what Marshall Wharf is up to.
Yeah, I need to know. But I guess that's going to do it for this show. Sean, I got to get the marching band practice, and we'll.
Well done.
Well done. Hey, done. Season's over.
All right. We had finals on Sunday.
Well, congrats. This is a beer podcast. All right, we'll talk to you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.